Okay, we rolling. Pop your head up. Send that link out.
There we go.
So good people. Thank you for tuning in. See, we got a couple people in here already. As soon as my co-host / first guest finish doing this thug thizzle, we're gonna jump right into it.
We good. Appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for coming through. Voch Lombardi, Dusky Woski.
So welcome to the first Sip to Tally Ravens Roundup live stream. I appreciate Voch coming through and doing this first one for me and helping me out. Voch has been my mentor through this YouTube journey. I appreciate him for everything he's done for me. Thank you, Voch, for all the little tidbits and shout outs and help that you've done with me. And let's keep it going from here on out.
Salute, man. I'm always available, always to talk ball. I always tell people that your biggest football knowledge come from whatever your foundation is, and you build on that. And you was one of the first cats to teach me ball or whatever. So it's only right to not forget where I came from, man.
Right, I appreciate it. A few more people I want to shout out before we get started that helped me out in this journey. Ing Raven, Sonny from SEG Sports, Joe Nubo, Law Nation. And I also want to shout out my wife for just leaving me alone and letting me get this done because she loves when I don't bother her.
That's the biggest shout. That's the biggest shout. Your phone ain't ringing. You ain't worried about knocks on the. You almost done. You
right.
Ain't worry about that, man. That's
right. None of that. Hey, let's dive right into it though. First thing I want to talk about is the NFC and AFC Championship game. Real quick, let's hit and miss. I want to get your thoughts on it. First off, the Saints and Rams. What you think about that?
Listen, man. Listen, I want everybody to cancel their cable and just follow Saints fans on social media, man. That's as entertaining as it gets. It's interesting how this fan base, right? How they laugh at everybody else. Hey, don't talk about the refs. Don't complain. If you lost, you lost. Right. Now they're suing people. Now Michael Thomas is getting on Twitter saying, "Well, in Section 5 of the referee Bible, come on, fam, take your L.
Right, take your L and move on. I mean, it's plenty of ways I think we could have still been playing, but didn't happen."
Look, man, I played ball. I used to hold a lot, but if the referee ain't call it, I wasn't holding.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So general philosophy in football, you don't lose on one play.
Exactly.
That was a big play, but if Peyton's clock management was a little bit better, if they would have done a better job dealing with Ndamukong Suh throughout the game,
he showed up big time.
Absolutely.
And he came on.
And he was quiet all year. You're absolutely right. So for him to show, deal with him better. Don't blame this on the referee.
And see, if they don't throw the interception in overtime, they still win.
Absolutely.
They had a chance to win before and after that, and just didn't get it done. That one play, granted, it was big and it was the wrong call, but you can't blame it on that one play.
I have no sympathy for him, Coach. I have no sympathy. Shoulda, coulda, woulda means nothing to me.
Right. Let's jump over to the AFC, New England and KC.
Man, let me say this too. I know it's easy to hate on the Patriots, man, and to kind of, it's rigged. If the league was rigged, the Cowboys be in the Super Bowl every year. The Cowboys would be more relevant than they are because it's the highest grossing football team. So I don't want to get into football rigged or whatever. But
for my followers that are paying attention, in case you didn't know, Voch the Cowboy guy.
I'm Cowboy guy.
So that's where that comes in at. So just so you know that.
I just don't want people's emotion to take away from a good football situation. Tom Brady's amazing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And he's gotten worse over time, and he's going to the Super Bowl as he's falling off, right? Don't wait until Brady gone and be like, man, I should have spent more time not hating on him. You know what I'm saying? Just
I hate him all day, every day.
You're like watching the Patriots, right? The Patriots and Chiefs game. Look, Pat the future. Pat gonna be the future. Kansas City just got to add some pieces on defense. They good to go. But when the Patriots won that coin toss, we knew.
Hey, the funny thing is the video of the referees like patting Tom on the butt and stuff before the game. That stands the conspiracy theory folks in an uproar, boy.
Man, look,
don't bet against Brady. Don't bet against Brady.
Back on the Saints game, there's this league official or whatever, and he ain't really got a good Photoshop eye. And he saw the one picture with Todd Gurley, like he traded jerseys and the referee, and he really thought that was a real thing. He was like, by no means should a player. Yeah, boy, you should have seen it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But hey, but the good thing about it, I think let's say 48 states are probably rooting for the Rams.
Sure.
Louisiana's not, and Massachusetts not, but everybody else go Rams.
I'm rooting for the Patriots here. I kind of like things that, I like dominance, man. So like, I can say, man, I seen Tom Brady win 7 rings or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Plus the Rams beat the Cowboys in championship. I don't want the Rams to be great ever. Get the Rams up out of here. To be fair, coach, I just recently changed my tone about this because I was real bitter a while ago. People like, yo, Voch, who you rooting for in the Super Bowl? I hope they cancel the damn Super Bowl. My team ain't in it. I hope they cancel it. I just recently changed my tone about it.
Now, I didn't plan on watching football Sunday, but it ended up being a good day. 2 good overtime games, so I'm glad I did tune in. But I was a little salty about the way the Chargers did the Ravens also. But I'm glad, it's kind of over with. And, it's already a new season, especially with the draft thing. We're looking forward to the bigger and better things. Sure. With our team, we got, Lamar. Well, just give me your 2 cents about the Ravens before we dive into the draft.
I feel like this about to be the 9th season where y'all looking for receiver help. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of dig how y'all worked it. If you're going to get a quarterback, get him tight ends early. That makes sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Then as he grows as a passer, then you get him some pass catchers. I think Crabtree was a good early receiver for him because Crabtree, he's a nuanced route runner. You know what I'm saying? So he can get more open. He can get more separation than somebody like, hey, just throw it up to me and I'll just go get it. Like Lamar is not that guy. Lamar throws to wide open people. Right. And I do think he will get better and he will grow. But just keep your defense top tier, make your run game better. I don't know what y'all offensive line look like, but I'm always your offensive line can always get better type of guy. You know what I'm saying? You want that run game to be flawless. You want that defense to be great, and you want as much wide receiver help you can get for Lamar since he's a 2nd-year guy. So that's just my thoughts on that.
Yeah, our O-line, we got 2 young tackles. Stanley from Notre Dame is in his 3rd year. Sure. Zeus Jr. he was a rookie this year. Yonder's getting older, but we got to find a left guard and possibly a center to go along with that. Obviously, we got the decent tight ends. We got 3.5 good tight ends. Sure. I think we're going to look for help in receiving, definitely, again, and find some backup edge rushers because I don't know what they're going to do with Suggs coming up, and also probably a safety or something like that.
True. So you said tight ends. You was like a 2.5. So is Max Williams the one that you trying to get rid of?
Boyle.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Boyle is the half.
Gotcha.
I like Max Williams. I like Hurst, and I like Andrews. And Boyle's not bad. He's not bad at all. I just say 3.5 all the time.
Tell you what, man. The Cowboys going into the draft. We ain't got a 1st-round pick.
Y'all got a 1st-round pick already.
That's what I'm saying.
Who's better in this draft than Amari Cooper?
Not a soul. And that's what I'm trying to tell them. That's what I'm trying to tell my Cowboys faithful, man. Like, we just drafted early. We got a receiver that we know can work, a Pro Bowl receiver. Boy, he ain't even a rookie yet. We just drafted him. And he in the damn Pro Bowl already. Of course, we're going to have to pay him. But if you draft a superstar, pay him early. Pat Mahomes supposed to have 5 years to figure this out. But the Chiefs came out and say, hey, man, 20 mil.
Right. On top.
20 million.
He ain't wearing no other color.
Nope. Soon as he's able, we gonna lock him down and handcuff him. So people get so caught up in the money and you want a player that's gonna be around for 10 years or so. Like, try to win today.
Right.
Try to win today. That should be
what the Rams did. The Rams try to win because they're not gonna have all those guys next year. It's
gonna be terrible for him in a like. Gurley already got his money, and I think Donald got paid. So in a couple of years, they're gonna have to purge that thing. The Rams gonna be sorry in about 3 years,
about 2 years, if that.
Right. But if they can win a Super Bowl this year, none of that matters.
Right. If they win the Super Bowl, their executive did his job, and he'd be the 2nd best executive in the league next to John Gruden. John Gruden single-handedly improved the Cowboys and the Bears. Single-handedly.
Oh, that's double sarcasm.
He should be executive of the year.
Look, this is the funny part about John, man. Like, and CJ Anderson was on the Raiders too, right?
I think so.
Oh,
I forgot about that.
I don't want to win. I don't want to win.
Not at all. But look, for
Go ahead.
those that don't know, Voch started off as a draft guy first. I think his first video was on a dare from somebody else, and ended up being, they liked it, people liked it, and 33,000 people later, he's sitting at that many subscribers plus. And I, salute to him, and I wish continued growth on him. But let's dive into his initial YouTube bag with the draft. We got the Senior Bowl that's going on right now. Day one, who stood out to you in day one?
Stood like the defense as a whole played great. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be safeties, boy, Nazir Ali can play. Rock Yasin from Temple, man, he can play. Man, there's this kid 91 from TCU. Didn't even expect him to come. CJ, I got it written down.
I got it right here too. Go ahead.
But man, Collier, LJ Collier, TCU. So I walked in looking for Jalen Ferguson from La Tech. I was looking for Zach Allen from Boston College, and they kind of disappeared on me. You know what I'm saying? But I ended up finding new guys that I like. You know what I mean? So I'm watching, and I go, okay, Josh Sweat. We know you measurable guy. We know you 6'7", infinity pound. You know what I'm saying? So let's see, can you put a little pop on your pass rush there? And
about Sweat.
Right. Sweat had a pretty good solid day. Guys like Dalen Mack from a TAMU, big trash can full of dirt kid running everybody over.
I didn't get to see today, but yesterday he was all bull rush. Any kind of thing in today different?
They didn't even show it, man. ESPN was so lame. They showed the North practice, but then for the South practice, they showed 7-on-7. So we didn't even get the chance to see the big names today. So I was mad about that. But as far as day one goes, Kalen Saunders, backflip Bill from Western Illinois or whatever, he came in and he showed some value. So I was happy with my D line, but all the O line that I thought had all the hype. All the Wisconsin kids, the Alabama guys that was going to come in and do some work, they was the ones that let me down. Ross Pierschbacher from Alabama let me down. Michael Dieter from Wisconsin.
He looked real bad playing center yesterday.
Bad. Michael Dieter ain't want to rep. he ain't want to rep, man. So I'm up here talking noise on my channel. Boy, I want to take a look at this Michael Dieter kid. He can play tackle, center, and guard. And I'm looking at him like he ain't playing nothing. Nothing. So I'm gonna give him a couple more days to figure this thing out, man. But a couple offensive linemen I did like though. Andre Dillard, Washington State, really impressed with him. I need him to be a little more consistent. He plays real tight to people. He got long arms. Need to learn how to use them. Max Sharping from Northern Illinois. I've grown a liking to him. But some people call him pet cats. I have sons. Like I just find these draft guys and I call them my own children. Chris Lindstrom from Boston College. He's 75, the right tackle. The right guard from Boston College.
Glad you brought that up. Go ahead. He got a lot of W's that I didn't expect him to get, and he on my radar now. Do you remember on your Gerald Willis film, you talked about him kind of disappearing against BC? Makes sense.
It is. It makes sense.
So
now I got to go back and double look at Chris Lindstrom from Boston College. But even the pass rusher from Texas showed up whooping people. The kid from Oregon showed up whooping people. Right. So we got a whole nother day to look at, man.
Blood, guts, and gore. 11. Yes, I know Voch. Voch played for me. He used to be one of my players back in high school. We're from the same hometown
and middle school.
And we're from the same street in the same hometown. How crazy is that?
2 houses apart.
2 houses down.
Now, we weren't there at the same time.
But 2 houses down.
Yeah. So just fun fact there. But
that's one of my players. That's Narayan. That kid played linebacker for me now.
Okay. Salute. Appreciate it.
I got a couple names I want to run off at you and tell me what you think about them.
Okay.
Debo Samuel.
So when I first heard of the notion that somebody is named Deebo Samuel from Carolina, I was thinking some big 6'4" person that bullies people. You know what I mean? But when I watch him, he's a 5'11" kid that bullies people, and he can run. You know what I'm saying? He can run. He can separate, physical dude for being shorter than I thought he was. Physical, solidly built. So I don't think it's gonna be like a problem in the league and nothing like that. Solid hands, and he was running past people, like smooth past people. I know him from the highlights of catching balls in the end zone, one hand catch, and I got to do more research on him. But as I saw him in the bowl, I saw some speed from him. So I want to see the 11-on-11, how he does with those different quarterbacks and whatnot.
Another guy, Rock Ya-Sin. That's who he stood out to me yesterday. The name and his play. I only saw him got beat once. So what you think about it?
Technique, and he tough. Technique, tough, and he hangs in there. There's this thing about the kids at Temple that if you get single digit numbers that you one of the toughest guys on the team, he wears 6. So
and he just got there. He was only there 1 year.
Fair enough.
Single digit number in the spring practice, and he came from a small school that cut out football.
Okay. But as far as like being technically sound, Rocky Sand impressed me, and I think he's just making more and more money, by the day.
And I had Sweat, but we talked about Sweat already.
Yeah.
One of my favorites that I thought was just overhyped and overrated until I saw him in one-on-ones yesterday, Hunter Renfrow.
Boy, it's gonna be a
just put him on the Patriots. Let him run the fly. Just go ahead right now.
This is gonna be the big conversation about Renfrow. I don't think he gets drafted. But whoever he goes to, I think it's just gonna work, man.
Yeah,
I think it's just gonna work. And he's not super impressive, you know what I'm saying? But he catch everything.
Yep.
He catch everything, and he know how to just subtly get away from people.
Yep.
He knows just how to cut the route off and get away from people, and he catches it. And if you want to go to a team like the Patriots, not because he's a wide receiver, I mean partly because he's a wide receiver, but he's deceptively fast. He's a tough guy. He's a hard worker.
I say that because think about Edelman.
Sure.
What does Edelman do that Fortson's not? I mean, that Renfro's not. He's just buffered at him right now. They're the same thing.
A little more swirl.
They're never going to be faster than everybody. They're never going to be stronger. They just run good short range routes and catch everything thrown to them.
Mm-hmm. And all he needs is a passer that can just fit the ball into whatever little window you want to fit it in, and he'll catch it. So Hunter Renfrow done caught passes from Deshaun Watson, Kelly Bryant, and Sunshine. So he can catch all. He can catch all kinds of passes. So
all right, let's talk about somebody from our home state, Gardner Minshew. Do you remember Gardner Minshew? Absolutely.
Interesting player watching him now, though. He from Brandon, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Brandon, Mississippi. Interesting player watching him, man, because I think he ended up going to Alabama or something like that.
No, he went to JUCO, then he went to East Carolina.
Okay.
Then he went to Washington State.
Got you. He puts the ball where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
He puts the ball where it needs to be. And I remember watching him in passing.
Mm-hmm.
He's an energetic passer. You know those guys, man, that just got a lot of energy behind their passes or whatever. Measurably, may or may not. But he can move around a little bit. He get the ball where it needs to go. I think there's a lot of guys like that. Like there are your arm talent guys. There's Drew Lock, my man Tyree Jackson. I mean, there are arm talent guys, but it's a lot of guys in this class that just get the passes there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Daniel Jones from Duke just get the pass there. Will Greer can't throw, but he gets it there. So we'll see.
Now, let's talk about Will for a second. I didn't have him on this thing, but what happened between Florida and West Virginia that he became that much better? Was that coaching or maturity? Because he had maturity issues at Florida.
Probably maturity, man. Sometimes, man, it ain't all about talent. It's just like buckling down and just getting it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Especially at quarterback. You got to do quarterback on that level and at the pro level, you gotta absorb it and absorb it again. You just can't wake up and say, "Oh, I'm going to practice that." You got to work on stuff that you did wrong. You got to work on stuff that you're not good at. And I think work ethic is kind of putting him over the top. I think he always was able to play. Mm-hmm. He could always play. He just had to apply it a little better. And when you grow up, He just applies a bit. That's why I like senior football players. Like I like players that just been in the game for a long time. You know what I mean? Like Dak Prescott just played in the game for a long time. We was talking about corners, and Marshawn Lattimore came out. I was like, man, Tre'Davious White, I like him because he's played. He's been at LSU for 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? I just respect that player that got the nuance of the game. They may not be as talented, pure talent-wise, but just time around the game, man.
Most of the guys that stick around in their senior year end up being your smarter guys that adjust to the system and can play almost right away when they get in there. Now, there are some freaks that come out, redshirt sophomore and junior year, but those senior guys kind of are well versed in the college game, and especially if they run some kind of pro set at their school, they come in ready to play, and all they just need is the reps.
Sure.
One more guy you did a film on earlier, Jalen, was that Ferguson?
Jalen Ferguson from La Tech.
Because I knew nothing about him until yesterday.
I want to say he led the nation in sacks and he broke Suggs' record. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of,
they lost to Southern Miss.
Yeah. He's a pass rusher. Like that's what he does. He gets to the passer. I think he's gonna have to develop a little bit, moving on to the next level. He kind of gets two things. He gets lost in the run game, kind of sort of, and I think he plays to his competition sometimes. When he was against Hawaii, but then like, oh, he can break the sack record, and he turned that motor up, and he got the sack record within 8 plays or something. You know what I'm saying? So he's one of those guys, and those guys scare me because I don't want to have to motivate the guy.
Right.
But if you can motivate the guy, he's a gangster. You know what I mean?
That means he's going to have to go to a certain type of coach, a Gruden or a guy that's rah. He won't be able to play for somebody like Tony Dungy or something like that.
Yeah. Motivate him.
And Gerald Willis, my guy. You put out a video on Gerald Willis the other day, and make sure you guys go check that out. I'll definitely throw some links in, after we're done to those. But Gerald Willis from Miami, one of my favorite defensive tackles. And when we first talked about him, I first introduced you to him. I told you he was maybe as good as 2 of those guys from Clemson. After going back on that, I think I want to change it to I think he's as good as one of those guys from Clemson. Because I didn't realize at the Alabama game made me realize how really good those guys were that played D-line for Clemson.
They can play. But Gerald Willis can also play in his own regard, though. Mm-hmm. What I really like about him, though, there's this new draft term. I kind of come out with a draft term every year. Controlled chaos, man. Controlled chaos. Being able to tear stuff up, but still keeping your eyes up and finding the football. I ain't name dropping that, Oliver. But, you could tear stuff up and get lost. You know what I'm saying? Or you could just beat the guy in front of you, get washed out the play. Like when we beat Petal that year, the wide 9 that just kept running up the field. Let's run counter at him and see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Run up.
Absolutely. So Gerald Willis, destruction, but his eyes are always finding the ball. Him as a defender, that's your job to find the ball carrying tackle. But man, coach. Boy, he got this top tier swim move. Y'all gonna have to just come watch the film. And you most of the time you are either strong or you're either quick. Like Aaron Donald both, but he's Aaron Donald. You know what I'm saying? I'm not comparing Gerald Willis to Aaron Donald, but Gerald Willis's swim move in particular is 2 phases to it. The first phase, then the swim.
Right.
That I call it smash hand because I didn't have a better word for it, coach. But his first jolt of power, it moves you. He's only hitting you from the side from one hand. It moves you. And then like if you're a fat kid with a strong punch, you will probably slowly come over the top. He Dwight Freeney over the top.
Yeah.
What, like 315? How much he weigh? He's
like that.
He's a big dude.
Combine nerds, let us know in the comment section.
Combine nerds, let us know. So for him to be boom and quick and fast, that says a lot about him. So control chaos plus having that. I think he's a 3-tech, 3rd-down pass rusher type of guy. Can he 2-gap? I'd rather him be tearing stuff up just in B gap or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I don't really want him reading and thinking. But man, as a pass rusher, he gives you value already. And I think the league is moving towards getting away from these edge guys, kind of sort of. You can account for edge guys. I mean, there are some guys like Khalil Mack that just tear everything up, right? But if you can push the pocket in front of the quarterback, that's more valuable because we can scheme like a wide end. We just step up in the pocket and you gone. You know what I mean? So Gerald Willis is making his money.
One thing you may not know or may not even remember about Gerald Willis. Do you know who his brother is?
No.
You remember when Landon Collins picked Alabama over LSU and how his mom kind of was like, oh, hell. And
Sure.
he didn't want to do that?
Sure.
Well, you know, that's his brother. And she did the same thing when he picked Florida over LSU.
Well, damn. They ungrateful over that.
Yeah, but now she's about to have 2 sons in the NFL, and I'm pretty sure she's a happy camper.
That's dope.
Like, I got 2 more names to throw at you.
Okay.
We mentioned him briefly for a minute. Adderley, Nasir Adderley.
Nasir Adderley, sure. The big deal with him, and I'm glad that he's at the Senior Bowl, is that he plays at Delaware, obscure state, and he plays against these high school university teams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
you know about Delaware players over here at Baltimore Ravens.
There you go. So I really want to see how he does against competition. But just based on the film that I seen from him, he's always around the football, very tough player. Kick returner. Look, kick return, boom, he caught it. He ran a dude over, stopped, looked at him, then he proceeded to keep running. You know what I'm saying? Plus he's a hitter. So if you're a free safety that's not afraid to tackle and you have range, you have a lot of value. So I think with a good Senior Bowl game, another good day of practice, I think he'll work his way into maybe the mid-second, late first or something like that.
And the last guy I want to mention before we move into something else is Andy Isabella. And I'm gonna give you what I thought. I heard all this hoopla about Andy because he caught so many balls and he was so fast and did this and the other. What I saw out of Andy Isabella was looks like the high school guys when they go to these 7-on-7 tryouts and they try all these different moves at the line of scrimmage and don't get anywhere. Yeah. That's what I saw out of Andy Isabella. If you're gonna be fast, be fast. Now I only started watching his game against Georgia today, and I'm only like in the third quarter, so I don't have a grade or what I want to say about him so far. But I was not impressed yesterday. I don't know what he did today, but I do know he's supposedly going to run the 4.3, when he gets to the combine and whatnot. But I need to see him get to a certain spot fast. Because if he's going to play, he's going to have to get to those spots. The quarterback's going to throw to a spot. They're not going to wait till he's open because you don't have time to wait till he's open in the league.
I think it's nerves, maybe. Think it may be nerves.
Possibly. Yesterday was day one, and they talked about how a lot of those guys hadn't played football, for a while, and they had to get back, their feet back under and whatnot. So today may have been better, and hopefully tomorrow, they'll be back in the groove of playing football. Hopefully,
you can tell that he's a nuanced route runner. Though.
He definitely is that.
You can tell how he works his angles. He'll throw a head fake in there sometimes, hands and feet breaking down, gets real low in his break. So you can tell he is that, but.
He's well put together too.
Right. But if the corner give you 10 yards, just run your slant.
Right. Exactly.
What you head faking for? Anybody on you? Right. So that may be another, like, hey man, calm down. Like he way over there. Get to your spot, catch the ball and run. Be fast, So we'll see. We'll see about it.
Now, got a little bit more content for our Ravens people, geared to our Ravens people here. Obviously, we need help at the offensive guard position. Who do you think would help the Ravens at that spot? Not necessarily being – because, you can spit out somebody that may even be – well, let's just say your best offensive guard so far that you've seen. Not necessarily hit the Ravens, but that'll be one of the positions we're looking at, offensive guard.
Cody Ford from Oklahoma plays tackle now. But I think he's going to get bumped inside. People going to use the whole arm length thing.
That's one of the guys I did. That's the first guy I did, matter of fact.
Sure. Cody can play. It's 3 schools you can look at for offensive line. They sent guys away by the bunch, by the 3s. Oklahoma, Ohio State, Alabama, and Wisconsin. Now the Wisconsin kids pissing me off because they having terrible Senior Bowl days, and I'm up here bragging on them. But Cody Ford is definitely one of he's one of the Oklahoma kids that you can look at the guard. He nasty, strong. He finishes. I like a finisher. Good feet can move around. Just kind of work on his hands and shooting him. There's a great punch, but just like maintain your hands after that. You know what I'm saying? So even if he goes early, I mean, there's Michael Jordan from Ohio State. You can't not draft the guy named Michael Jordan. He's another. He's a little more finesse than Cody Ford is. Cody eats glass in the morning, but Michael is still a pretty good guard. Then there's a lot of guys that play other places that I think are going to be moved to guard. I mean, Jonah Williams at tackle might get moved to guard. Guys like Dalton Reisner from K-State was talking about Chris Lindstrom. He may get moved to guard. This is plenty offensive linemen in this draft, man. This is a great complementary player draft. So if you want to get O linemen, D linemen, linebackers, DBs, go get them. Go get them. There's plenty of them.
As far as receivers, in my opinion, there's 3 guys that we could possibly take at receiver. At 22, I have AJ Brown, N'Keal Harry, and who's my third person that I had?
Butler, Hollywood Brown.
What do you think about the Ravens, picking up one of those 3 guys and how would they help?
I would love for y'all to go ahead and draft the receiver so we ain't got to talk about y'all drafting receiver next year.
Well, in your circles, it's about drafting receivers. In our circles, it's about developing receivers because I still think we got 2 guys that were on the practice squad that could contribute. Jaleel Scott and I forget the other kid's name. But one of them from UCLA, which is like 6. He's like 6'6", 6'7". And the other guy, I forget his name at the time right now. But we got 2 guys that's over there that's decent. But go ahead with the question.
As far as guys like that can come in and play right now, AJ Brown can come in and play. And we was having the Cooper conversation earlier. There's no receiver in this draft that's gonna come in day one and just fix you. They can be complimentary, good ball catchers. They can come in and support, but they're not gonna wreck the show. This ain't their class. I mean, you draft them at 22. You know what I'm saying? So so AJ Brown can play, but Marquise Hollywood Brown, speed. So you can't teach it, and everybody needs it. You know what I'm saying? So if you had the pick of the litter, go get Hollywood. He right there. Plus he can give you a little kick return, punt return if you want.
And lastly, on the defensive side of the ball, we need to find somebody to replace Terrell Suggs. But there's plenty of edge guys in this draft. Is Adderley your number 1 safety?
Kid in Alabama can play, man.
13.
The kid in Alabama can play. Adderley, and like I said, if you Alabama, you've done it against the best. You Adderley, you've done it against some middle school children. So we're gonna have to see. But what I do like about Adderley is how tough he is. I like tough DBs. He's tough and he tackles and he hits, and he's a energy guy. Defense is based around energy. That's why my man with the Jets, with the LSU safety, Jamal Adams. That's part of why he's so dope, because he's infectious. That's that intangible leader thing. And I think Adderley got a lot of that in him. And if you're a Ravens defense, a lot of that's built on attitude as well. Right. So add to it. Add to it. Your free safety got a bad attitude. I think that's dope.
Yeah. Now our strong safety had a bad attitude. And he was biking folks like Tony Jefferson.
Sure. Okay. Gotcha.
But our free safety was Weddle, and he was just smart.
But the free though,
if your free safety got that Sean Taylor mentality, you're pretty good.
You're good to go.
All right. Last question before you get out of here. I'm more of a receiver, skill set type guy. Voch is more of an O-line, D-line guy. Mostly O-line. He played O-line for me. What is the best trait that you see, that you look for when looking for O-lineman and when you do your draft stuff? That to say like this guy has it, this guy's ready to play.
And I think this is like a universal football thing, but finish. If you're an offensive lineman and you finish your blocks, good. If you're a defensive lineman, edge player, and you pass rushing, but you get caught up on a block at the end and you don't finish. If you're a DB, you know what I'm saying, you hip to hip, you can't find the ball, finish. If you're a receiver, finish. I think that's the biggest trait for any football player. Running backs finish the run. You may get an extra 1 or 2 yards or so. I think that's what separates a lot of these guys, man. That's how you know somebody loves football or not. I mean, yeah, you could go out of bounds. You could, I'm just gonna hold you here. I'm a right tackle. I'm just gonna hold you here. Then they jump up and bat the ball down. So now it's 3rd and long because you Brian Lawing out there. If you gonna jump, punch him in the finish the play. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the biggest traits I look for.
I got 2 questions from my chat box. Then I'm gonna let you go because I know you got film to get up and get out. One of them is, what are your opinions on Ben Powers?
Ben Powers from Oklahoma. He was the other guard. Okay, so solid, but just like the other, he was in that hype group of offensive linemen that kind of blow me, just kind of blow me away. He was better than Samia, his other homie he was there with, but because Samia looked trash out there. But at least Powers he can recover well. He'll shoot his hands and kind of get beat with speed, but he can still anchor and get up under somebody and drop his butt. So I at least like somebody that can recover if you gonna get beat. I would rather you stone somebody at the line of scrimmage, but Ben Powers had an okay day. I mean, we'll see what happens. And
I basically want to shout you out for joining us today. That's we're gonna wrap this thing on up because I know you got film to get out and things you want to put up on your channel. I appreciate you coming. Trust me, you don't know how well I appreciate all the stuff you've done for me, how much you helped me. And this has been my first live stream. Tell the people where they can follow you at on your social media and whatnot.
Everything is Voch Lombardi, VOCHLOMBARDI. The YouTube where I put film at, the Twitter where I make jokes, the Instagram where I look at women. It's all Voch Lombardi. Appreciate you.
Hey, tell them about your Facebook thing too.
And the Facebook thing too. I got a Facebook group, Lombardi's Draft Talk. Go in there, join that. It's about 4,000 knuckleheads in there talking about a draft, disagreeing. And if you want to watch your film on Facebook for whatever reason, you can go to Voch Lombardi's film sessions all over the place. If you just Google Voch Lombardi, everything will pop up. I even got a Discord. We can go in there and talk about whatever. I'm trying to fill that draft room up too. So much work.
That's it for Voch Lombardi. But I always, anytime I do my podcast, I ask this one last question of just about anybody. What's in your what do you listen to in your headphones right now? Musically.
I'm transitioning between the GOAT Phil Collins and the other GOAT Prince. I just have a top tier respect for anybody that write their own music, compose their own music, play their own music. So Phil Collins is up there on the list for me. As far as Prince, like everybody feel like they know Prince, like When Doves Cry Purple Rain Prince. I'm trying to get into that one performance he did in New York in '85, that one guitar solo he did, or when him and Tom Petty was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and old boy guitar solo was a little too long, so Prince got petty and he made his an extra 16 bars. You know what I mean? That's the kind of Prince fan I'm trying to be. So those two in particular, Prince and Phil Collins.
All right, one thing, and I want you to check out this person check out D. Horton, young rapper that I met when I was living in Columbus. He sounds like Andre 3000. He actually just moved to Atlanta and just finished recording in Stankonia Studios. Make sure you check him out. And matter of fact, I seen some stuff with him too. That's my wife up there. I'll send you some stuff to let you look to a SoundCloud link and whatnot. And again, I appreciate you all coming out. Thank you, Voch. I'm gonna hang in the chat box a little longer to answer some of these questions if you guys want to chat. But I'm gonna give Voch his time to let him get his channel back going. And again, this is Coach Evans, Sip the Tally, Ravens Roundup. Appreciate you guys. Salute.
Woski.